This is my fully electric 2021 Kia Niro, and over the next few weeks I'll be driving it on a full lap of Australia, passing through some very remote places. The charging won't always be easy, but it should be one incredible journey.
Oh my god! Well, good morning from the Dunmarra Wayside Inn. It's 8:48, so a bit earlier than I have been leaving, but still a little bit late. But anyway, the car has charged up to 57% and is now estimating 188 kilometres of range. So not great there. The well, it was on 11% last night, and it's only been a 15 amp. And not even quite 15 amps. This whole place seems a little bit worse for wear, and I think the generator might even be on its last legs. But anyway, we got charged from 11% to 57%. So the proper good charger at Threeways Roadhouse is, I think, a bit over 300 kilometres away. With a full charge, I could probably hypermile it and make it there, but it's estimating another 12 hours and 10 minutes for a full charging here. So I would literally be spending the entire day here, and they would probably want to kick me out even. And yeah, I don't really want to hang around that much. So the other option is to drive about 100 kilometers to the iffy DC charger, and I can easily do that, 188 of estimated range, so I could drive 100 kilometers and get to there. Hopefully that DC charger works. It's slow, I think it's 20 kilowatts or something, but it's a lot better than what's here, and charge up a bit better on that to make it to the good charger at Threeways Roadhouse. And if that doesn't work, apparently they do have a 3-phase option there. I'll have to pull everything out of the boot to dig my 3-phase cable out, but I do have a 3-phase cable. So then I could get 7 kilowatts instead of 2.8 kilowatts that I'm getting here. So even if that charger doesn't work, I'm better off to unplug from here and go another 100 kilometers down the road and get at least somewhat better speeds there. And it doesn't have to be an overnight thing. Like here, I kind of had to get a powered site for the night. There I can pay, I think, by the hour or something to use their 3-phase plug. They have sort of a bit more of a system set up for that. So that's the plan, to head on to there. There's a lot of frogs here, which is nice, but they end up in the bathroom, which is weird. And yeah, the place is kind of falling apart. But anyway, I got the charge, I got a shower. The shower stopped a few times, and the lights flickered when the toilets were flushed. I think the whole place needs a bit of work, but anyway, it's fine. It's really time to head on now though. I'm just charging up the power bank in the back of the car a bit more. That's on 70-something%, but I can probably just unplug that now. It's got the solar panel, although there's not a lot of solar production, and I don't normally use all the power that's inside it anyway, so I might just go unplug that now and then unplug the car from 15 amp, put the cables in the boot, in the front, and head off. I'm now only 5 minutes from the iffy charger. I do still have 104 kilometres of estimated range left, but it's a good 200 and something to the actual good charger still, so I'm just not going to make that at all. But I've been only doing 100 and keeping it fairly efficient, not because I was at all worried about making it here, but just because the charging speed's going to be low here. I'd rather sort of keep as much power in the car as I can. We're going down to 80 now. The car is still on 32%. So going along quite okay now, but the whole day is going to kind of hinge on whether or not this charger works properly. Down to 60. Oh, it's like a town or something here. Yes, I think it is a town. Welcome to Elliott. It is a town. I thought it was a roadhouse. Ah, yes, here's the roadhouse. Oh, yep, there's the yellow toilet blocks. And there's the charger. So I've found it. But what's the story going to be? Looks like there's a green light showing on it. There was actually a check-in on PlugShare from when this was working. I'm hoping it's working again now, but from when it was working earlier, saying if you don't want ants in your car, keep the cable off the ground, trust me. And it's meant to be hard to believe, but after the last 2 or 3 days, I have no difficulty believing that. The bugs have been ridiculous. But I'm going to get out and have a look. Threeways is 228 away, so we need to add at least 150 kilometres of range. There's no ants. Charger sounds like it's about to explode, and we've ramped up to 20 kilowatts. Yes! That is the best news possible. I mean, 20 kilowatts is not good power, but it's way better than anything I'd get with AC charging, and it's actually realistic. Like, the car would be full in 2 hours, 26 minutes. I don't need it to be anywhere near full. I just need a bit of an extra top up. So at 20 kilowatts, I probably will be here for a little while, but it's a manageable amount of time, and I can cover some realistic distance today. So that's very good news. I'm very happy. And I'm not going to have any trouble finding the toilets. This is literally on the wall of the toilet block. But I will let it charge for a bit and use the toilet and have breakfast, and see you a bit later. This charge has really been quite good. Certainly slow, but steady. It's continued. It's actually hit 22 kilowatts a fair bit. It's sitting on 22 kilowatts right now. And the car's gone from, I think it was like low 30% to 75%. So pretty good charge, even if it was a slow charge. Unfortunately, the Starlink barely works here because of a wall and a tree. So I haven't really been able to use much internet. And I have no phone reception here. There's a Telstra tower here, so maybe ideally I should probably have a Telstra SIM, but when I have the Starlink's a lot better than Telstra most of the time, like driving along the highway, not in town, you have perfectly usable internet usually from the Starlink. So the Starlink, even if I had a Telstra SIM, I'd probably also still want the Starlink. In fact, I definitely still want the Starlink. So, and then once you have the Starlink, there's almost no point in the Telstra SIM. But there's a few times like this where it would have been nice to have a Telstra SIM. But anyway, it's 228 kilometres to Threeways Roadhouse. I'd probably struggle to pull that up on my phone right now, but I have memorised that. And the car is estimating 252 kilometres of range. I think there are a few things I want to stop and see, but I don't think they're very far off the highway, if at all. But I can't really pull them up very well right here, sitting here. So I'll sort of have to find them as I go. But I think I will see a few things like that. But I should be pretty good to go. It's not a huge buffer, but it's a bit of buffer. And then I'll get to Threeways Roadhouse with a real proper DC charger. The NRMA ones that I've been using for the previous 2 days. And they seem to be actually pretty good. And I'm also excited to try my ChargeFox card on them, because I think there's a chance they can also be activated with ChargeFox, which would make it better, in my opinion at least. But anyway, I think I will unplug here now. We got 77%, 256. 23, it would hit 23 a bit. Only 5 more minutes to 80%, but then 58 to 100%. It is quite loud. And the screen is very hard to see. The screen's so dim I can barely read it at all. But I didn't see a stop button. And it says on the sticker stop in the app. So this might be interesting. You definitely need either a Telstra SIM or a Starlink here. Yes, I can stop it in the app. There you go, we've added 31 kilowatt hours in 1 hour and 26 minutes. The Starlink sort of works in little bursts. Yep, we're stopped. Great. Now I can unplug. Thank you, little charging station, whatever you are. I'm now 5 minutes out from the charger at Threeways Roadhouse. Proper full power DC charger, hopefully. So that's exciting. I think I should have charged up more at the last place, because I've pretty much had to sit on 100 the entire time, and it's now down to 11% with 35 kilometres of estimated range and still 6 kilometres to go. But the road has been sort of quite wet, and there's been rain coming through at times, and I've actually seen a lot of water on the side of the roads, and even sort of mild flooding in little patches around. Nothing over the road or anything, so it's been fine, but there's definitely been a lot of rain here recently. I guess it is the wet season, but that's all good. I'm definitely ready for a break of driving now. I was intending to stop at things, but I pulled them up on the map, and it was like, Google Maps said, "You have arrived," and it looked something like this, and I'm like, okay, there's not even a turn off or anything for it. So I just sort of kept driving, and there was some other thing I could have maybe stopped at, but it was sort of raining, and I'm like, nah, it's not going to be that different. But Threeways Roadhouse, that's where we're going. So I'll go there and get plugged in, and then probably do another quite long charge, possibly even to 100%, because I now have to do, after this, I have to do another stretch where I sort of drive quite a bit and then charge overnight to hopefully have enough to make it to the next charger. And even after this overnight charge, tomorrow morning I'm actually making it to only a 3-phase charger, not even a DC charger. So yes, I will actually absolutely charge to 100% this afternoon, because there's just, the DC charger, even at 99%, this car will DC charge better than it can charge on AC power. So it just makes way more sense to fully charge it DC while the DC charger's there and carry as much of that energy across to the other inferior chargers. And then after that one more inferior charger at Camo Wheel, I should finally make it to the Queensland DC charger network, the edge of that in Mount Isa, and then it will be very smooth sailing all the way home, proper charging network, and then even actually like commercially installed chargers once I get a bit further south in Queensland, down the coast. So it will get very easy from that point, but there are 2 more difficult charging situations to overcome. But luckily I have this good charger here at Threeways, hopefully, where I can get a full charge ready to conquer the next bit. Here we are, turning in 600 metres. I don't really know where the charger is. I'm hoping I'll just spot it. Oh yeah, right there. Lovely and easy. And right next to the roadhouse. That's what we like to see. Sometimes it does give you more of a risk of the charger being iced, but fortunately that hasn't happened. I can just drive right through there. And now I will actually try my ChargeFox card just on the RFID reader. See what happens. So that was a different experience to starting a normal ChargeFox charging session. I had to actually tap start on the screen and then tap that I was going to activate it with RFID. I didn't just get to tap the RFID card, but then it all worked perfectly fine with the ChargeFox card, and the speed is now ramping up. So plugged in at 9% with 29 kilometers of range remaining, and we're up to 50, over 50 now. 62, we're going to sit on 60, almost 63. Going very well. I'll run into the toilet, and yeah, I think I'll wait here, charging here a fair bit. Working great here. And then there's another one here. And I think this might be a cabinet of batteries. I'm not sure, but it sort of seems to be part of the install. Yes, I would say it is. And the switchboard and stuff. Ah yes, UPS section. Down here it says... So yes, I think these batteries are trickle charged from the roadhouse power system or something, to then give good power to the EV chargers. I think I'm almost ready to leave. The car's on 96%, getting 10 kilowatts, so the speed is ramped right down. But the charge has done very well. This is just what the car's asking for now. The car still says 19 minutes until finished, but I don't really see, unless it really slows down at the end, I don't really see how it could take 19 more minutes. It's still going along okay at 10 kilowatts. It's only got 4% to go, but I guess 10 kilowatts is actually pretty slow. When I charge at home on my home charger, I'm getting 7 kilowatts, often like 7.4 sort of kilowatts, and that takes a while. I never sit and watch and wait that, but after an hour or two you don't have that much more than you did. So I guess 10 kilowatts is pretty slow. But anyway, this is more than I could get at Camo Wheel. Although it's 200 kilometres to Barkley Homestead, which is where I'm going tonight to charge up with a powered site. Can I add 200 kilometres of range overnight with a 15 amp? Because if I can, then I'm getting a full charge tomorrow morning anyway, so anything now is irrelevant as long as I can make it there. When I plugged in last night, I only had like 40 left, and I think I had about almost 200. Yes, it's like 150 it adds overnight. Yes, I want a full charge. So, car says 18 more minutes. It might be right with 18 more minutes. The entire time I've been filming this video, it's still been saying 96%. So I might have turned the camera on too early. Oh well. These last few percent really drag on. It's down to 8 kilowatts now, which if I plug into the 3-phase at Camo Wheel, I could be getting 7. I'm not sure what I'm going to do there yet, but that would be an option to get 7, so basically the same. But it is actually going to be quite a stretch just to make it to Camo Wheel, given only 15 amp overnight charging. So I'd probably rather leave here with a full battery anyway, unless this charging speed tapered down to below what I'd get from a 15 amp plug tonight. I think I probably want the extra bit of power. It says 8 more minutes to go. It's on 98%. Down to 7 kilowatts now, but it's 99%. Down to 6 kilowatts. Wow. 6 kilowatts at 99%. 7 minutes. Surely it's not going to take 7 minutes to get 1%. So this is now charging slower than my home charger at 6 kilowatts. And again, that's not the charger's fault, it's the car. When the battery's full, the car can't take high speeds in. That's why if the network was correct, if there was enough chargers spaced out correctly and everything, you'd never do this. You wouldn't really charge above 80% unless you happen to be in a restaurant waiting for your food to come or something, because it gets ridiculously slow at the top. But unfortunately, the Stewart Highway seems to have bits of a network, as we've seen. There's one in Catherine, and I can't remember I can never remember the name of the other town, but the stop between Catherine and Darwin, there's charges in Darwin, there's this one here, but then, like we had this morning, there's other little bits that aren't really properly, and I think it's similar if you keep going down the Stewart Highway all the way till you get to Port Augusta, pretty much. But at least there is bits of a network, whereas going east and west in Northern Territory, seemingly there's absolutely no network at all. So yeah, my next DC charger will be in Queensland, in Mount Isa, in fact, and that's 600 and something kilometres away. So if you had, I think there's a few, I'm not sure if any are available in Australia, but I think there's a few sort of really top spec cars with the most efficient specs. If you drove it efficiently, maybe you could stretch it from here to Mount Isa, but for pretty much all cars, you need to charge somewhere else. It would be nice if there was a charger in Camo Wheel. That seems like it would be, it seems like that's a town, so it seems like it would be easy enough to add one. But anyway, there's not. The options are contacting a guy who's like, I think he's like the maintenance guy at some resort. He'll let you come around the back and plug into a 3-phase plug, or you can do a 15 amp plug at the post office caravan park. I think those are the options. That's completely from memory from stuff I looked up months ago. But I think those are the two options. And then yeah, Barkley Homestead's only a 15 amp plug as well. 99%, 6 more minutes. Maybe I'll just unplug. Like, what's six minutes of 6 kilowatts really doing? I think I'm going to unplug. Oh, that's what I was going to do. That'll use up 6 minutes. I wanted to have a look at the ChargeFox app because because one of my complaints with the NRMA app was I don't think you could you couldn't see like car state of charge or anything. You're just basically looking at a screen that said charging, swipe to stop. But if you activate it with your ChargeFox card, or possibly even the ChargeFox app if that works, you don't quite get all the details. You get time elapsed 1 hour 37 minutes. Consumption has been 0 kilowatt hours according to that though, and it's not showing state of charge. So no, the ChargeFox app isn't really helping with that. Oh, 3 kilowatts, definitely unplugging. That's 15 amp speeds. And yes, we are now turning off the highway here to head east to the coast. If you continued straight down this highway, you would end up in Port Augusta. But this is Barkley Homestead and Mount Isa this way. And it looks like we have some rain coming in, which is not going to help. But I think I'll be pretty much keeping 100 km/h speeds. I could comfortably make it there doing 130, but I want to conserve the power ready for tomorrow. Now 4 minutes from Barkley Homestead. The car's down to 48% state of charge, still has an estimated 160 kilometres of range. I think I can typically add about 160 kilometres, 150-ish of extra range with a 15 amp. So that plus that would be like almost 300-ish, and it's 263 to camo wheel from here. So tomorrow morning should be perfectly comfortable, easy stretch, but then it's just going to be about how quickly can I get the power into the car in camo wheel. Am I going to use the 3-phase and then maybe make it to somewhere else by night, or do I just call it a day and spend another night on a 15 amp, or will that even be enough? So that's all sort of questions for the morning, but for now it's all about getting plugged in here tonight so that I can actually make it, get away birds, to camo wheel tomorrow. It has rained a bit, like actually not just this drizzly stuff, but actually some real rain. So that probably hasn't helped the efficiency, but I've kept it sort of just under 110 most of the drive, and that's kept the range estimate to a point where I think with a charge here overnight we should comfortably make it to camo wheel. And turning in here, I guess I'll just sort of pull up somewhere and go and see what I can do about a powered site. Very wet here. That is the fanciest roadhouse I've ever been in. Like, it's all been quite recently done up. It's all very fancy. I think this whole place is pretty fancy, pretty nice. And they even ask how many nights you're staying for, like they expect you might stay for multiple nights. I'm not sure what there is here other than just the roadhouse. So I'm not really sure why you'd stay multiple nights, but anyway. But yeah, all good. Got a powered site. I think they're through here. I do have a map. There's some form of bird as usual. And they have no traffic sense as usual. Guinea fowl. The sign is helpful. Oh, and it's muddy. Muddy. Oh yeah, that looks good. Right down there. I also want to get somewhere where the Starlink's going to get decent reception. But that looks all right, I would say. Might run a quick speed test. And apparently I have to put this in the windscreen. And it's not looking great, but it's probably usable enough. With these trees, it's about as good as you get. I could put it out somewhere, but I'm just worried someone might take it or drive over it. My charger's pretty long, so I don't exactly need to be right at the plug. I reckon that's better. Ooh, it's pretty far away actually. I really need to plug in. Not just keep shifting the car slightly and doing speed tests. But it's just once I have plugged in, I can't shift the car to improve the speed. There we go, that's pretty decent actually, that's fine. So the car's charging. It'll be done by 12:50 estimated, but it'll be done in 12 hours 50 minutes estimated, but it will actually be longer than that because I'll run the air conditioner overnight. It's fairly cool, so I won't be running the air conditioner hard, but I think I still need it just to keep the humidity out of the air. Even if it was 15 degrees outside, I would probably need to have at least the windows open, and with the rain I can't really have the windows open, so I will be running the air conditioner. We have solar and batteries in that room over there. Not sure any details about it, but I know there's batteries in there from reading the signs, so that's good. I can hear a diesel generator running over there, so I guess it might be just because of the rain, or they might run it every evening while they're cooking dinner and stuff. But that is running at the moment, but I'm sure at times this does a lot. And if we look at a puddle, it's very much raining. So the car's sitting in the rain, and I'm standing under a tree, sort of still getting wet, but not overly. And then I'm also not sure where to leave the cooking stuff overnight. Normally I would just leave it out, but if it's going to rain, I would normally slide it under the car. But the car's kind of parked in red mud, so that wouldn't be ideal either. So I'm not sure what the plan is yet there. Just while standing under the tree in the rain, I was looking through PlugShare, doing a bit of planning for tomorrow, and we might have a new issue. Camo Wheel has 2 charging options. I can quite comfortably make it to Camo Wheel, but there's really no way I'll make it to Mount Isa, and that's the next charger after that, or next any option of charging after that. So Camo Wheel, RACQ Camo Wheel would be the ideal option. That has a 3-phase plug, so my car can't actually do 3-phase, but I have a 3-phase EVSE for it, so it can basically plug into that and pick one of the phases and pull 32 amps from one of those phases. So basically getting maximum AC charging speeds. So this is like the next best thing to a DC charger, really. Payment may be required, $20. You could top up with Bush Fire Brigade donation as well. But in the description here we have AEVA/TOCA sponsored 3-phase 32 amp 5-pin socket installed at RACQ workshop in Camo Wheel. Workshop is not always attended, so please call David on David's phone number a day or 2 before arrival for arrangements to be made. I didn't do that. I can try to do that tomorrow, I guess. Tomorrow morning, but it is Sunday morning, unfortunately. And when you come down to hours, call timely for appointment, but only available Monday to Friday and Saturday morning, so not available over Saturday or Sunday nights. So we may have difficulties. The other option is Camberwell Post Office Hotel. And that's basically just a caravan park, 15 amp caravan main socket. So you basically just get a site and plug into the caravan park caravan plug, like what I'm doing right now. So that would be perfectly fine, and that would get me to Mount Isa, at which point everything is all good, full proper charging network the whole way home really. So it's really just getting to Mount Isa and then I'm sort of home and done. Well, thousands of kilometres from home, but it just becomes so much easier at that point. I'm really starting to sweat in here. I might have to turn the air conditioner on. But with a 15 amp plug charging at Camberwell Post Office, even if I hypermiled it really well, oh, that's not even air conditioner. There we go, air conditioner. Even if I hypermiled it really well and left here with 100%, I would need to add at least 100 kilometres of range to the car from Camberwell to make it to Mount Isa. That means I need to put an extra 18 kilowatt hours of power into the car, which from 3 kilowatt charging speeds, which is pretty much what you get from a 15 amp plug, that would take 6 hours. So if I'm going to use the Camberwell Post Office Hotel, I'm probably just spending the night there, which means I'm once again like half a day behind. But I think that's going to be the move. I might try calling David in the morning, but I feel like that's not going to be an option. So I don't think I'm going to get much distance covered tomorrow, and I'm not even really sure how I'm going to use up the day, because I don't think there's much even sort of sightseeing or detours I could do between here and Camberwell. I have to be out of here by 10. 10 is checkout time. So here's pretty nice actually. There's a pool and stuff. I could probably linger here till 10. But then 2.5 hours to Camberwell. So 11, 12. I'm there by 12:30. I won't really be able to get into the caravan park until 2 at least. So there's some time to fill in, and I've kind of lost a day. But oh well, that's kind of the way it is.